Our top story tonight, some going down in November.
Wars, spending.
There has got to be something big a-brewing.
They're using geese to guard prisons in Brazil. Does Biden know what
Immigration
Mexico
policies.
is? Would you scare Joe Biden? What are we laughing at? I
Butthole.
think Billy Mays was real.
I'm a world-class skeptic.
I don't know anything about Hunter Biden. I don't know who's big into cocaine and laptops. Why is that our problem? Complete, absolute incompetence. Like, who funds the news? It's a freaking inside job, man. The entire world's a stage and everything's fake.
Welcome back to another episode of the Veritas Road. Carson back here with Murph. A sobering beginning to an episode. We're here actually asking for donations this week. Actually, the proceeds from this episode will be donated to the cause. There are a lot of people who have lost their homes and are staying in million-dollar hotels all across the country, and we're very sorry for them. So we're asking for as much money as you can spare, and we'll be matching the $0 of donations we expect for the lost homeless mother and her children, the Kardashians, to try to support them in their time of need, because who actually gives a flying that they lost their homes? So thank you for your concern.
That's right. You know, you got a $35 million house in the Palisades, and then, you know, they have just infinite money to just rebuild it.
Well, these poor people, they've lost one of their 5 homes.
That's right.
And I'm concerned, because if you've lost one of your 5 homes, what are you going to do?
You're going to have
You're
4.
out on you're basically out on the street. These people are having to flee to their home in the Hamptons. It's hard.
They might have to go to like a lesser city,
Yeah.
like Cleveland or something, where they have like a
Cleveland sounds pretty bad, actually.
Well,
That
I
sounds
mean,
rough.
They might have, an only $6 million condo, okay,
Right.
as opposed to their gigantic mega mansion with spas and
Exactly.
teak wood and all this kind of crazy crap.
And our hearts are with them. Our hearts and minds are with them.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Do it, baby. Do it.
Yeah. I just can't believe. It is wild, all the fires that are going on, and I think we're going to talk about that more later, but all the concern for these people who left months ago, come on.
Yeah, that's right. They're not even supposed to be in America, right? Because Trump won.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Oh,
what are you doing still here?
Yeah.
Why
'cause
aren't
I
you
don't
in
know
England?
I don't know if that was the point of your story, but that just now hit me. With the exception of James Woods, they're all Democrats up there.
Yeah. Whatever.
Hey, you sound like hell. Address it. Address it.
Oh, yeah, there might be a lot of coughing, so if that triggers you, get the over it. If you're scared of germs, I don't care. I'm not. I was sick for like 5 days.
Yeah, and he went through all the processes. He got tested.
I did
He
not.
posted about it on Facebook and let everyone know
Right.
how valiant and moral he is for getting the test.
Right.
And
I told all of my friends and family to be afraid of me. Or what are you supposed to do?
you just post that you tested,
Oh,
and that means you're good.
right. Okay, so I made a Facebook post and an Instagram post letting people know that I took, yeah.
That's so stupid. That's so stupid. People just forget that happened too.
Yeah,
It's like some kind of weird glitch in another life.
right. It was like back in school, because when you and I were growing up, glasses started to become cool, right? You weren't made fun of for glasses, really. They were kind of cool if you came. It's like the first time a kid came to school with glasses and you got all the attention. That's what that kind of is. You post about it on Facebook and you get all this social media attention because you're the one with a weird infirmity for a little bit. Not the glass.
I mean,
Not that if you have glasses.
I wasn't 100% following that because I had glasses and I was not cool. I was not part of the cool kids. I get your point, but maybe you could have used something like like a toy, like you wear Crocs to school for the first time or a North Face jacket.
Right. And you get all the attention just
Fucking,
for a
like,
little
cargo
bit.
shorts. That would have been a good one.
Sure. I don't think anybody ever thought cargo shorts were worth anyone's attention. As a matter of fact, I think cargo shorts should be burned, all of them. But definitely wearing weird stuff to school and getting the attention for a day is like that's kind of what that's like, and it's dumb. So, Let's move on to the rest of the shit on the news.
Yeah. Boy, there's been a bunch of it in our
Oh,
mini
yeah.
absence here.
Yeah.
Is she Asian or is she crying?
So,
That's Selena Gomez? No way, dude.
Disney darling Selena Gomez is very upset that we're sending illegals back where they came from. Take a look at this. Hey, John, is this sending the sound to the right place, by the way, bud?
Yep.
Okay.
Some, including Selena Gomez, are not happy about this immigration crackdown. The celebrity
Also,
sobbing
pause
in a
this for a
video
second.
she posted on
Since Trump got elected, Fox is having a blast. They're having a great time. They're doing what they want. It's become so entertaining to just peruse Fox from time to time. That's become one of my new favorite pastimes. Sorry, moving on.
I don't even know how you get Fox anymore.
her Instagram story. She had a Mexican flag emoji saying this. Watch.
Only people are getting attacked. The children. They don't understand. I'm so sorry. I wish I could do something, but I can't. I don't know what to do.
Doesn't know what to do.
This bitch is crying about Mexican children when Mel Gibson's house is on fire and the Kardashians are homeless. Okay, how dare she?
Dude, she looks.
How
like,
dare she?
She looks like hell. She used to be hot. What happened? I don't know. I don't think that's Selena Gomez. I think somebody got to her.
She seems real upset there.
Yeah.
I don't know what her deal is, but jeez.
So it was Mexican children. Just that blanket statement.
Right, but I mean, keep playing the video,
So
John.
she-
This guy addresses it. Yeah, Mexican children are being attacked,
But
apparently.
Trump's border czar Tom Homan is firing back at this video, Will. He says the targets of these raids are not abuelas, they're criminals.
I don't think we arrested any families. We've arrested public safety threats and national security threats, bottom line. And look, President Trump won the election on this one issue, securing our border and saving lives. What happened on our southern border last 4 years is the biggest.
All right, pause
national
it. This
security threat in
man
country.
is the border czar or whatever, and he's having to respond to the hormonal ravings of a 35-year-old Disney princess or whatever the hell she is.
He sounds like a retard.
What in
dude.
the world?
I mean, no offense. I'm all for Trump and this border stuff, but that guy sounds retarded. Does he not? He's talking like this shit. You know, he kind of sounds like a Sean Connery with autism. You know? So, something's wrong with him. But that doesn't mean I support Selena Gomez either, okay? It's a false dichotomy.
Fair enough. All right, play.
You're seeing, at least in my lifetime, because we got over 2 million known gotaways. We got a 600% increase in sex trafficking. We got a record number of terrorists
You're
crossing
right.
the border
You're
on
right.
the terrorist watch list.
Sources telling Fox News that New York City is next. They're waiting to see what raids are going to happen here. And Homan says, all the crying aside, this is a national security threat that Trump said he was going to fix from the beginning, Will.
Okay. Well, thank you, Alexis, and thank you for sharing that very sane video from Selena Gomez
you're
over
welcome.
what's going on across the United States. We'll see you later, Alexis. You know, it might be worth pointing out that if you are looking into a camera, I think this is a fair opinion to hold. If you are looking into a camera, emoting, crying, sharing your feelings with millions of strangers, you are not on sane ground. You're not
Do you
emotionally
see? Pause it real quick. Do
healthy.
you
That are
see this guy trying to have a rational media response to this? What the hell?
I don't know. Is that his training? Is that what his producers are telling him? This is just a joke. This has just evolved into a complete dumpster fire. And I can't believe that's on the news. They're getting paid to talk about this.
Yeah, a lot more than you or I make.
And Selena Gomez probably got all kinds of views from the liberals.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure she did. Probably got a lot of support, too, to be fair. So
Yeah,
maybe it did something for her, you
I
know?
don't know, from the Mexicans.
It definitely didn't because she got bullied so much she had to delete it.
I mean, not to be a dick, but kind of serves her right. A little bit. Kind of serves her right.
I don't know anything about her other than she used to be hot. She probably died and was cloned because that didn't look like her. Didn't she have kidney disease or something?
She wasn't wearing an outrageous amount of makeup there, which is probably why it doesn't
No,
look like her. to
something
you.
happened to her kidneys or some shit like that, right?
I don't know. I
So-
wasn't allowed to watch the Disney Channel growing up because A, my family couldn't afford it, and B, my my father didn't like it.
Couldn't
So
afford the Disney Channel. Wasn't it on cable?
right?
You couldn't afford cable?
No.
Sorry. That's pretty sad. It was like $27 a month in like 2004, probably.
Right. Right. My father didn't hold down a job
Oh well.
from the time I was in kindergarten till he died.
Well, that'll do it.
So while we're talking about depressing things, let's move on to whatever you.
Well,
brought to the table.
it's related to this.
Is it really?
Yeah. I had
Alright.
well, I have two. Only one of them's on here. We'll go with this one first. Dude, they must be getting attacked at Home Depot because Home Depot is eerily quiet.
Wow.
Illegal the workers. They just straight up admit they have illegal workers in this article. Apparently,
Home Depot does?
Apparently,
That's amazing.
read it. I mean, doesn't that seem like it is?
Well, to me, it seems like there aren't as many people at Home Depot because all the illegals are staying away from public places.
All right, read that. Only 10 out of the dadgummit, John.
Stop scrolling.
Only 10 out of the usually 40 to 50 migrant workers attended their shifts at a factory in
Oh, it's
Oh.
at the Home Depot factory.
dude, what's that word? Juliet, Illinois last week. So apparently,
I think is that Joliet?
I don't know.
I think it's how it's pronounced. Wow.
So apparently this is a real thing. I mean, they
Yeah.
really are going to deport people apparently.
Hey, all right, fine.
Me too.
I'm from here. I'm good.
I'm not Hispanic, so got no problems.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a crapshoot.
Home Depot's eerily Aren't these people worried about sounding racist? Come on.
I know. That's kind of what I think. Like, how is this allowed? This is kind of like a colored people versus people of color thing.
Right. Like, how dare they? Are you saying only Mexicans work for Home Depot?
Well, if you say that, it'd be racist. But if you say that would be racist if you said that. But if you say the Mexicans that work at Home Depot are not showing up,
Right.
that's okay.
Yeah.
Even though you're saying the same thing.
That's social justice.
Right. Just like the colored people versus people of color thing.
When did that change?
2017? I don't know.
Mm.
Well, you can't say colored people still. That's what my grandma called them. She was from Mississippi.
Right.
And that's racist. But people of color is like heroic. And it'll get you on Disney Plus, on show on Disney Plus if you're a person of color.
See, I guess I don't. That one I find less weird than indigenous peoples, which seems insane. Where did that come from? I mean, there are people who are indigenous to certain places, but
I mean, at this point, we've lived here forever. Aren't we indigenous now?
I feel pretty indigenous to Tennessee.
I was born here. That makes me indigenous.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
were born
Define
here.
indigenous.
I don't know where you were born.
Yeah, exactly. That's well, I mean, you got to get those people to define it. How far back do you get to go, right? We going all the way back to whatever they believe in, Pangea or I don't know what. but
Gowanda or gonorrhea.
Gaia.
It's gonorrhea, I'm sure.
All right. You said you had another article?
Yeah. I mean, it's just an interesting point of note. I can probably tie into our topic tonight. There's a freaking earthquake in New Hampshire, in Boston, in like New England.
Is that near a fault line at all?
Just a 3.8. I read either 4.1 to 3.8, varying different ones on the Richter scale in New England. And
They
that-
never get hurricanes.
well, all right, two things there. First of all, they do.
Oh,
It's rare.
well, I
Second
mean,
of all, I'm talking about an earthquake. So I had to address the multiple things that were wrong with that statement. They get a hurricane every now and
I
then,
meant earthquakes.
and I wasn't talking about hurricanes. But in that
they never get hurt.
Maybe we should give up tonight. Maybe we should have waited another night. Is you're coughing? I got to piss already.
They never get earthquakes.
I know, that's why it's so crazy. There was hurricanes in the mountains of North Carolina. It was snowing in Florida. Now there's earthquakes in New England. It's a crazy time to be alive,
Some
man.
wild happening.
Yeah, that was my other article. I don't think anyone died.
Damn. So who gives a
That's right, dude. That's right.
Yeah. Nobody dies. Is it even news?
It's funny, right?
That could be our new slogan. New the Veritas Road slogan?
That might get us killed. Yeah, what was our slogan? Did we pick out one?
I don't know that we ever did.
We wrote something good down somewhere.
We wrote like
Yeah,
a like
it
a
was
like a
something like there's nothing new under the sun, but we're trying.
that
It was something like that.
is terrible. But I think this. I think we. I think that's a good. I think that's. This could be a good slogan. If nobody dies, is it even news? The Veritas Road. Check out our news network.
Yeah. I don't know. That's what's going on among a million different other things.
Yeah. Good gracious, John. You mentioned a story earlier. Let's check that out.
So I saw this on Twitter the other night. It is speculation on Fauci's extradition to Russia surfaces.
That's what it was you mentioned earlier. If Fauci gets extradited to why?
So, recent social media posts suggest that there is speculation and discussion regarding Dr. Anthony Fauci's potentially facing crimes against humanity charges in Russia. This talk stems from comments that Vladimir Putin might be seeking to extradite Fauci, linked to negotiations concerning the end of the war in Ukraine.
So that means Trump's behind it, right?
It must. I mean, honestly, though, that kind of because Biden pardoned Fauci for what? I don't know. He's not facing any charges right now. Why would you need to pardon him?
No, but seriously, doesn't that last sentence right there?
What?
Okay. Putin might be seeking to extradite Fauci, linked to negotiations concerning the war in Ukraine. That's got Trump written all over it. Don't you think? He'd be like, hey. Trump's like, hey. In addition to the daughters things, which we'd hammered 500 times.
Right.
It's like, throw me a bone. You want something? I'll give you Fauci. You know?
I just don't understand why Putin would want Fauci. I get why we would want him here.
Everyone hates him.
Do
Whether
they
you're
hate him in
Russian, African, Iranian, freaking Polynesian, they all hate him.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, so everybody wants to just take him down. Except
I'm willing to let him get raped in a Russian prison. I'm okay with that.
Man, that escalated quickly. Well, I mean, we're not paying for Russian stuff, so might as well.
Yeah. Let Putin do with him what he wills. That's fine. I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
He also
okay
got his
with
Secret Service stuff revoked,
that. Good.
which was costing like $1 million a month or something outrageous.
That is insane.
What does he even do? Where does he go? Why does he need Secret Service?
He speaks to people.
Still though?
He gives talks. Right now, he probably hides at his house.
Well, yeah,
Everybody
but
hates him.
When was the last public speech he gave?
I don't know. I'm not his secretary.
That's what I'm
but
saying.
I would imagine most likely he is probably going to meetings with people at the CDC, people at Pfizer, people at Moderna. You know, he's people in that business. Once you're up so high, you're going to meet with everybody every so often. You know, just to check in, see how things are going, keep working on your fake projects, earn you all more power and money. That's what you do.
I just don't know why you would need Secret Service for that. But
you don't, unless you're a criminal.
Well, I figured does Trump have Secret Service when he goes through all the underground tunnels to the Capitol or something, or just when he's out in public?
I'm sure he has it all the time.
Every waking second, there's somebody around Trump.
Maybe define around, but probably
Dude,
yeah.
that would be
This is how security works.
That would
buddy.
be a miserable life.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah, I mean that's how else are you going to keep if you're a high level figure that people hate? There's no other way to at least approach trying to ensure that you don't get murdered or attacked other than having people guarding you nonstop 24/7, especially when you're the president of the free world.
What if you're in the White House? What if Trump he doesn't have somebody standing outside the bathroom door when he's taking a shit, does he?
I mean
stuff like that. You're in the most fortified.
You're talking okay. The proximity you're talking about is a little they're not necessarily going to be right here, but yeah, I'm sure they're all around the White House.
Well, but they're not. My point is, it ain't like it is on TV when Trump is here and there's 15 people around him all the time.
Well, no, I'm sure he has space from time to time.
Exactly.
Okay.
He can go get a cup of coffee in the
you
kitchen.
are a man of extremes. So.
Okay. Well, I admit that. When you think of Secret Service, you think of big people in huge black coats surrounding, just walking around people all the time.
Well, yeah, but no, they're not. They're not. They don't trail him to the bathroom. They don't. I'm sure he and Melania haven't in years, but they're probably not there when that's going on. They're not like right next to him all the time.
That's
but
all. That's all I was.
They
asking.
are within a reasonable proximity to be able to guard whoever they're guarding. You know.
So
Yeah.
Fauci doesn't need any of that,
Right.
and now he doesn't have it.
Well, whether he needs it or not is another question, but he doesn't have it anymore.
All right. Well, that was on the news too. Twitter is the news now.
It really is. Where does anybody like who watches legacy media? I mean, that's been talked about to death, though. Like nobody pays attention to legacy media. Twitter has become the news. That's it. So the inauguration was this week.
Was it? I thought it was last week.
Yeah, it was last
It
week.
was a week ago today,
But-
wasn't it?
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
the 27th.
Did you watch it?
I watched it today.
How was it?
I was fine.
What do you talk about?
Just we're gonna make America great again. We're gonna deport all the people who aren't from here. We're gonna stop government censorship. Actually, that's a good thing. Tariffs. He wants to reassign President McKinley's name to Mount McKinley. Did they rename Mount McKinley?
Yeah, to Denali.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So he wants to rename that with his favorite president.
Really? He said McKinley was his favorite president.
He said that before, I think.
I thought he said Andrew Jackson was.
That's you.
But McKinley, what he got shot? Why did he get shot, John? Wasn't it banker related?
I vaguely think so. I don't
Yeah.
remember though.
He was the one that like lived a long time, right? After he got shot, or was that Garfield? He lived like 3 months or something.
Wait, so you haven't watched the inauguration?
No.
You wanted to talk about the inauguration.
Yeah,
Why haven't you watched it?
because I don't care. I know I noticed some things though that I was gonna bring up,
All right.
but I wanted to get, you know,
I mean, Barron Trump looks like a vampire. I can tell you that.
you seen all those memes of him being like 40 foot tall and walking after his parents.
No, I haven't, but
They're-
that's pretty funny.
They're very hilarious.
He also appeared to make Joe Biden shit his pants. Did you see that?
No.
Yeah,
I
You gotta
missed
look
that.
up that video. He like leans over and like says something very subtly to him, and Joe Biden just goes blank. So
yeah, that was
I
super
feel like
weird.
that's how Joe Biden handles most questions,
I mean,
though.
maybe, but it was a very interesting interaction.
There was also that clip of like Elon and Barron standing beside each other, and Elon's being like an F-tard, and Barron's just sitting there stone faced. Like Barron's kind of creepy, man.
He looks creepy.
Like he looks like somebody you do not want to F with. Like he will
Yeah.
rip your face apart,
he does.
and will like break out like a dark saber from the Mandalorian and just cut your face off. That's what he looks like.
Okay.
He is one of the scariest people in America, I think.
Barron Trump.
Yeah. If you had to name, he's in my top 5. Dude. I'd put him in the top 5.
Goes
Would you
Charles Manson, Barron Trump.
No, Charles Manson's cool. He was a patsy. He didn't do anything.
Well, okay. Also, the expressions that Biden and Harris had on their faces, like Biden didn't seem that upset. Harris looked pissed off, but Biden just seemed chill, dude. I don't know if he knew what was going on around him.
No.
He was probably just, having a nice daydream, or whatever.
Did he get
does.
lost on the way out or something like that? Like his wife had to like lead him again the right way after he gave his last speech? Pretty sure I saw that on Twitter.
They made a big deal about him coming to greet Trump. Because Trump didn't do that to him, I guess,
Don't they leave notes for each other?
in the desk, yeah.
That's weird, dude.
It's kind of
That's-
gay.
yeah, dude. It's really gay. Like, what the heck? Why don't they just... They're like, come to my house later, come to my new...
Left some toys for you in the presidential bag.
it's screwed up, man. I don't
I'm going to start doing that for you.
know. Please don't do that. I will burn my desk down to avoid
Just
having
going to
to deal
find
with that.
cute little notes around your house.
Little post-it notes with little hearts on the eyes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Editing party this weekend.
Dude, we have so much editing we need to do. Did you see where Trump didn't place his hand on the Bible?
No,
Yeah,
I didn't see that.
that's a whole thing.
Damn, I missed that.
Mm-hmm. It was like really close, but he never actually touched the Bible.
I was having a fever dream while I was watching it, so I didn't necessarily retain everything. But
And then freaking Melania, she looked like some kind of like pantomime ninja.
man,
She-
the
she-
way all these hats she pulls down so low over her eyes
Dude,
now. What's going on there?
Her outfit at the inauguration.
Let's look at that outfit.
Look
John.
like something out of like. I don't even know. So, John, you just opened a tab that you already had a tab open, then you opened a tab. Just pointing that out. What was I saying? Dude, it looks like something out of like Demon Slayer, man. Look at that. She almost looks like
Bring
a
up
man.
that first
Look at
picture.
her
That's perfect.
Look at that jawline. She looks like a man right there.
You think everybody looks like a man?
Does that not look mannish to you?
Not particularly, no. Looks like a lady.
Look at that chin. That does not look like a lady's chin.
It does. It looks like an older lady's chin.
I don't know.
You think everybody looks like a man?
Let's put up a poll. Anybody who happens to be listening to this or comment on YouTube, does that chin look like a man's chin or a woman's chin?
Those teeth are perfect. I'll say that.
Yeah, they are pretty nice.
Yeah. But, like, everything I've seen her in, and it could be like she's an aging model. She doesn't want people to see her. But she has hats pulled down way the hell over her eyes. And that just seems a little off to me. I don't know anything about fashion, so I'm the wrong guy to ask. But, like, what's going on there? Seems a little weird.
Yeah, it seems creepy and like a cultish.
Also, their kiss at the inauguration was like a mile. They kissed from like about as far apart as you and I are.
Well, yeah, she probably like can't stand Trump in like actual reality.
You would imagine so, right?
Right. She's probably got like, her own boyfriend, and Trump's got 1 million women.
Right.
Why are we still?
Is she still hot? That's all I was curious. That's half the reason I watched the inauguration, but I couldn't tell because she had the hat pulled down. So
She's
far
old
on her face.
now, right?
Old ladies can be hot.
She's like 50.
How old is Trump? Like 78?
78, yeah.
And she's 50. He's 28 years older than her.
Yeah.
What's the age differential between Trump and Melania? I have to know this.
Probably more than that. She might not.
It's got to be a lot. Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, I'm sure you're in the ballpark. That's just so wild. All right, Trump's 78. We already knew that.
I'm guessing 47.
She's 54. They're 24 years apart. If I were to date a 24-year-old, guys, or not a 24-year-old.
Dude, are you sure you want to say what's coming next?
I'm just saying that'd be like if you dated a 6-year-old right now.
Oh, I love how you deflected that to me.
It was much easier.
Yeah.
John, how old are you? 24. John can't even do that. And he's 24. That's mess. I don't care how old you are. That's weird.
Dude, billionaires do that kind of stuff all the time.
Yeah, they clearly have issues.
Yeah, like freaking.
I mean, I'm jealous of them, but they clearly have issues.
Belichick has like a 24-year-old girlfriend. People just laugh about it.
Yeah.
Which is like super messed up because he's like 72. People just think that's okay. We venerate these people as such good people.
Who thinks Bill Belichick is a good person?
Oh, well, I mean, just in general. I'm not specifically saying Bill Belichick, but in general, we like all these celebrities and these people who accomplish so much and have so much success. We're like, yeah, they're like awesome, but in like reality, they're like scumbags.
Yeah.
And they treat people terribly and are like always out for themselves.
Which to kind of follow that point to a conclusion, like the media did that with Trump. Obviously, like they flipped the script from liking him to hating him. I feel like
hold on, coughing spell. He's got corona.
I feel like the common man did that with Trump as well, because at least in the world I lived in, everybody was like, oh yeah, rich dude, he's probably kind of an asshole. Like they were a little bit like him, right? But now everybody's like, oh, he's the best person ever. He talks about, how we're gonna bring this country back to God, and he doesn't like the Mexicans. He's trying to get them out of here. And I just think he's a good person. He seems like a good person. There's no way.
Oh, no, not a chance.
There's not a prayer.
Yeah, it's like cultish almost how, like, Trump can't do any wrong if you support him and how he can't do any right if you hate him.
Yeah.
Like, there is absolutely no rational anything. It's a cult either way.
Right. There's zero middle ground on the topic. Period.
Yeah, which has got to be by design, man. Like, that's got to be the whole point of Trump. you don't just have like a. How many people you know that are just have a opinion on Trump? You know.
Me?
Well, most people aren't like you.
I'm just saying that's one. I know one.
Yeah.
I don't actually
Right.
know your opinion on him. How do you feel about
Um,
Trump? Sorry, you look like you have a point.
Well, I was just going to say, in the context of believing that the system is legit, how many people have a opinion on Trump?
Oh.
Uh,
no.
My opinion on Trump is that he's a very, very, very high level Mason. He has been in this position from the start. He's completely bought by foreign interests, and there may be, I go back and forth on this, a twinge of regret as to the things that he's done in his life.
He kind of looked like it in his inauguration speech. This was the most serious I've ever seen him be in a public speech that wasn't about something like devastatingly sad. And it was all and this could be me projecting, I don't know, but it almost seemed like there was a little bit of sadness in his eyes.
Yeah, I think he's a real person, unlike Biden. I think there's actually someone who you could look at and meet, and he is Donald Trump, and he was that 10 years ago, and he will be that till he dies, unlike Biden, who wears masks and is a clone or some kind of lizard. But, yeah.
Feel good now? You got that out?
Dude, have you does anybody believe in the legitimacy of Joe Biden? No one does. It's a complete joke. And
I
he
haven't
looks
given it any thought.
like
I won't say
his
that
ears are different every time he shows up. His eyes are different. He looks Asian sometimes. Like, it's a guy in a mask. Have you seen this stuff with a mask, dude? They have some incredibly realistic masks.
I've seen Mission Impossible. Does that count?
Yeah, Mission Impossible's from like the 90s. Imagine what they have now. Right?
Fair enough.
How hard would it be to just put somebody out there and call it Joe Biden? He
I-
don't even
I
have
get
to be
what
a
you're saying.
growed clone and clonate. He could just be some guy in a mask,
Right.
like working for the CIA.
Right.
My point is, I don't think Trump's that, but I don't think he's on our side.
Fair enough.
You can't. Nobody's on your side at that high of a level. I don't think.
Right. I think that's a rational thought. Well, I think most of that's a rational thought process. Yeah. So
So
that makes
yeah, I
sense.
don't really care much about Trump. I like a lot of the stuff he says.
Right.
He's hilarious. He's wonderfully hilarious. But he never, all of his awesome fury and great stuff, he never turns that upon Israel, which is a problem. If he would do that, boy, I'd really love him. Yeah, so I don't know.
Fair enough. Are we still paying for a war over there too? Are we still doing that? Is that still going on?
Yeah, so another big thing that was all over Twitter is he signed this executive order temporary halting all foreign aid, with the exception of two countries. Just take a guess.
No.
Just
Israel
take
and Ukraine.
yeah, I think it was Israel and Egypt actually.
Oh.
But Israel,
Egypt, and Jordan.
oh, Jordan got in there.
Mm-hmm.
Have we toppled them yet? What's the difference in Jordan and Syria? Are they not the same freaking thing?
I'm pretty sure they're different countries, bud.
Aren't they on like on the eastern side of Israel, both of them?
Okay.
Why not just merge them together?
You could say that about a lot of things.
I mean, to me, they just merge them all together. That's all ridiculous.
I mean, there are two Carolinas east of us. Why don't they just merge them
I
both
know.
together?
Why not? Why not? Save everybody
You know?
the time and effort.
Yeah. That was a dumb thing for you to say. It was really dumb.
I just don't give an F about these endless wars.
Well, I mean, has he ended the Ukraine war yet? Has Trump ended that? He said he was going to end it before Inauguration Day. Inauguration Day is come and
I
gone.
know. Dude, that's a bummer, that failed promise. Like, 'cause everybody was giving him crap about this Ross guy. And I don't know who this Ross is, but they were giving him crap about not freeing him, on day one. He freed him on day two. It's like, well, we'll give him a break, man. He's got a lot to do.
He's a busy boy.
So maybe he'll get around to ending the war. Maybe it'll be like, 33 days after
Right.
inauguration,
Maybe.
with opposed to immediately.
Hey, he did pardon all the J6ers.
That's true.
So
Did he get all of them? Did he help all of them?
that's what the executive order said, I believe, or the pardon or whatever he signed said all of the people involved in the events of January 6th, and included all of them.
Yeah, he got 1,500 of them were pardoned, and then like 6 of them he like left to review to like commute their sentences. It's like the people who apparently there were only 6 people who actually committed any type of violent like acts on January 6th. So those people are just gonna like commute their sentence. But
Well, here's the
rest of them got
problem.
pardons.
Define a violent act, because I feel like what was defined as a violent act got changed to like scratching a desk on, that day last year.
That was
2021 or
it was
whatever.
2020.
2020?
2021. No, it's 2021.
Okay.
It's 4 years ago.
I feel like the definition of violent acts was a lot looser that day than it has been before or since.
Yeah, I didn't really follow that other than it was just epic as hell, dude. I mean, how awesome would have been to go in. Did you see the lectern guy? Dude, I mean, what a living legend. His whole thing is the fact that he just had that lectern. And it's sweet, man.
When he got his pardon, his like first tweet was like, "Thanks for the pardon. Can I have my lectern back though?" Which was awesome.
Everybody followed the
That's
lectern
amazing.
guy. He's a great persona. I would have taken that thing home.
That was a wild trip.
How did they get out of there? Did they just leave?
They got arrested. And
So they did get arrested there. They didn't
some
just
of
leave.
them got arrested. A bunch of them left. A ton of them left. I mean, there were a ton of people involved. Like, there was one woman who, she was from California, went back home to California, got on Kill Tony, ended up getting, like, indicted because of her appearance on Kill Tony, and there was a whole fallout after that because she admitted to being part of the January 6th situation.
Oh, if I was there, I'd be 100% a part of it.
Her name was Karen Jones.
Oh, that's pretty vague. What a vague name.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you have a daughter, don't name her Karen, bud.
Or Susan. I really don't like the name Susan.
Yeah, that's really it's a very
It's kind of a
outdated
name.
It is outdated. You don't.
And that. Yeah. So, yeah, the inauguration came and went. I can't believe Trump didn't put his hand on the Bible. That does seem weird. I'm going to review that to make sure that is actually true.
Yeah, John, pull up a picture of that.
Yeah, I mean it's true, and it's a weird thing. I also was like, how weird was it that it was inside?
Oh, I meant to
Inside
talk
the
about that.
rotunda.
Yeah. They said it was because it was cold. It's cold it's in the north.
Oh,
it's
hey.
wintertime. It's cold all the time.
It's not in the north. Like,
It's in D.C.?
yeah, that's not technically the north.
Oh, my gosh. You're the worst. It's cold and it's north of here, you son of a bitch. It's, like it's going to be cold. How cold was it that day? How cold was it on January 20th in D.C.? Let's find out.
25 degrees. That's my guess. But to be fair, dude, the oldest president, like, before all of this crap, before, like, the past 10 years was William Henry Harrison, and he gave a speech in the cold and died a month later.
So fair
I mean, there
point.
might be.
I mean, he spoke for
Well, they
like
all-
3 hours, but
They all like to talk about how Trump's the picture of health, though, so if he can handle it, then let's let him handle it.
Okay, this is taking way too long to find.
here we go.
Can you not just look at the weather? Can you look at the weather app in the past?
I don't know.
You could just type in Washington, D.C., temperature
21,
and
I
the date. It was 21?
No, maybe it might have been January 21 that was on. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It's 20th. This is taking too long.
There you go.
All right.
That's off.
Now we're getting the spinning wheel of death. You got the anticipation.
Yeah, I'm very excited. AccuWeather, that'll do it. All right.
Accurate weather. Is that what that stands for?
Okay, so 20. The official temperature at noon was 27.
Oh, I guess. I
Wind
guess 25.
chill of 14.
Okay, so it was cold, but is that cold enough to call off a presidential inauguration? I don't feel like it is.
But nobody called it off.
Well, they didn't call it off, but to move it inside. It just, my assumption is they were worried about another assassination attempt. Because the D.C. police said, oh, by the way, you are not helping with security as well.
Oh, they said that?
Yeah.
Dude, that's pretty wild. So it was
Yeah.
just up to the Secret Service?
Right.
And we all know how
It's
retarded.
just up to, like, federal police.
How retarded they are.
Right.
They can't see somebody on a barn. From
Which,
20
that's
feet
strange.
away.
Have they ever done that before? Has D.C. ever told the guy, like, hey, we're not helping out with security on Inauguration Day?
I don't know.
I was not aware that that's ever happened. So, I wonder if that's another reason, because, how many times have people tried to allegedly tried to kill him now twice. Was there a third one?
Yeah, I think there
I
was
feel like there was a third one.
some rumblings of a third one, but nothing ever materialized. Two for sure.
So I mean,
I don't know.
I feel like that could have been a big driver for moving it inside.
I felt like Trump wanted it in there because it's like the rotunda is like that's where January 6th went down. I think he wanted to just give everyone in there like the biggest you of all.
Kind of a
This
bring
is
our
just-
boys home type
yeah,
of moment.
I kind of felt like it was something like that.
I don't know. He's sure done a lot since then, though. Man, has he been on? He's been on just a fury of. We should talk about some of the stuff that he's like already immediately done.
Yeah, he signed a bunch of executive orders, which they all do. Everybody acts like that's new and strange and different, but yeah, go.
Yeah,
go for it.
it's pretty like radical stuff, right? He's withdrawal from the WHO, right? Didn't that happen?
Which
Yeah.
is I like that.
Yeah, and he didn't he say he isn't gonna what's he not gonna pay for? He's threatening NATO, right? Has he officially pulled out of NATO?
No, I mean he's threatened NATO for years. I don't know what you're talking.
Now he said he'd take the IRS and move them to the border. No, that's not an executive order, but he's saying, and there's freaking Operation Stargate. You see that crap,
No,
dude? Where he's
missed that.
like pushing all these mRNA cancer vaccines.
Don't love that.
Oh yeah, look up Operation Stargate.
That's a problem.
And who is that Ellison, Larry Ellison behind that, or is that something different? He's the one who's getting pissed off about China being ahead of AI, right? I'm getting those two confused. Yeah, look up this Operation Stargate.
Yeah, I'm curious about this. Let's find out what this is all about.
'Cause this just kind of gets blown over and all the other stuff
Alright.
Trump's done.
Stargate Project is a new company which intends to invest $500 billion over the next 4 years building new AI infrastructure for OpenAI. They'll begin deploying 100 Damn it, John. Scroll back up. Keep going. There you go. This infrastructure will secure American leadership in it. This has nothing to do with
John, put it. All right, go to Google. Go into Google, John. Go into Google. Go up. Go to Google. Go up there. Yeah. Type in Trump mRNA cancer vaccines. All right. Just Trump mRNA cancer vaccines. I know there was something he signed. Just like day 2.
Hey, there's some weird going on with the guy who built OpenAI, by the way.
Yeah,
We need to
dude.
talk
Yeah,
about
this
that
was
sometime.
this was Stargate. This was like in all that. Like it's fronted as like top of the market AI research, and then there's this like mRNA cancer stuff in there.
Oracle, OpenAI, and
This is what I was thinking of.
how
dude.
long is this video?
It's a minute.
All
44
right, let's
seconds.
watch it.
Yeah, this is Larry Ellison talking about like a surveillance state and all this crap. Why's my internet so bad? I'm paying a premium for this crap.
People everywhere recommend.
Oh, that's loud. Turn that down.
Oh, those guys better not be gay. We're so sick of this. Good God, we're sick of this. Gay Asians on.
Currently working on. Should I step on this? Okay. All right. No. I'm not that tall. I'm not that tall.
Oh, this guy's
Talk about
terrible.
sounding like a
Thank you,
retard.
Mr. President. One of the most exciting things we're working on, using the tools that Sam and Masa are providing, is a cancer. It's very interesting. It turns out, I'll be quick, all of our cancers, cancer tumors, little fragments of those tumors float around in your blood. So you can do early cancer detection. If you can do using AI, you can do early cancer detection with a blood test. And
People already knew
using
that.
AI to look at the blood test, you can find the cancers that are actually seriously threatening the person. So we can, again, cancer diagnosis using AI has the promise of just being a simple blood test. Then beyond that, once we gene sequence that cancer tumor, you can then the person, design a for every individual person to them against that cancer. And you can make that mRNA, you can make that robotically, again using AI, in about 48 hours. So imagine early cancer detection, the development of a cancer vaccine for your particular cancer aimed at you, and have that available in 48 hours. This is the promise of AI and the promise of the future.
Okay. That's terrifying.
Yeah, man. Do we trust that guy? Is that guy some kind of like hometown hero? All right. And this whole freaking thing is occult as hell. It's called Operation or Project Stargate. That's weird.
It was a great movie.
Is that not weird?
It's a little
Why not
strange.
call it Project or
Well,
Project No Cancer or Project Cancer?
That didn't mention anything about that particular operation at all.
That's part of. That's the whole thing, dude. He's talking about that.
But I'm going to take your word for it.
I mean, 2 seconds you can find out that that's true. That was part of his. Larry Ellison's heading all that crap up.
So I assume the part of it that they're latching on to is just using the AI that, OpenAI software as part of their system for this work is what I imagine that
Well, I mean, this is
attached to, not the actual biologic aspect of creating those. Because that's going to have to be the way that works on paper.
Oh, do you even believe this? Like, it's a freaking Hegelian dialectic, right? Like we give you a problem, all right? You react. We create the problem. You react, and then we give you the solution, right? The cancer idea is just a front.
For
right?
what?
For who? For God knows what, dude. For God knows what. We have no idea.
I've lost track of what the hell you're talking about.
It's the same as the corona, man. It's the same as the corona. We have no idea what's in these mRNA. We have no idea what their actual purpose is. It's marketed to you as, hey, you don't want to get cancer? Just jab yourself at this. Same thing as corona. You don't want to get corona?
Right.
Go alter your DNA and give yourself a heart attack and a stroke. It's the same dang thing with this cancer, okay? Oh, the idea is, cancer's scary.
Right.
Take a shot. When that shot could freaking turn you into a zombie. It could, give you rabies. It could, Lord knows what's going to happen to it. I mean, we saw all these spikes in
cardiac events.
And turbo cancer. You seen all this turbo cancer stuff? I mean, It's just the same dang thing as the Biden stuff right here. Just how are we okay with any kind of mRNA? It's just that's a wolf in sheep's clothing right there. This whole
I wouldn't even call it a wolf in sheep's clothing. That seems pretty sinister on the get-go.
Well, it's a wolf in sheep's clothing because it's part of Trump. They're like, it's coming from Trump. It's got to be good, right? That's what's so dangerous about Trump is because nobody's going to – everybody knows Biden is part of the deep state and an incompetent moron. And the people running Biden are part of the deep state. Nobody's going to do a dang thing they say. But they've got Trump as this hero who's coming to save America. And be like, Trump is finally here, America's saved. Just do anything he says. It's for saving America. It's such a more dangerous place to be if Trump is pushing New World Order crap, because people do it as opposed to they're not going to do it because of Biden because it's so obvious. Did that make any sense? I didn't say that well.
Well, your point is, at least from our perspective, most of the people who are going to push back against these sinister, we'll use this as an example, these sinister health interventions that are being absolutely pushed on them by, the New World Order, the government or whatever, were Trump supporters previously. They were good Southern men and women, who wanted their rights. They were, people who worked in factories. They were people who just didn't want to be with, right? But now with Trump, with their guy in office, and Trump has been painted as, the savior of America. It's a great way to Trojan horse that shit into the door.
Dude. Heck yeah, he's a great Trojan horse. He's got all this good stuff. Get us out of these, get us out of the WHO, get us out of NATO, get us out of all this crap.
Right.
And then throw in one bad apple.
Right.
Here's your
Now, I don't know. That doesn't freak me out as much as all the stuff that happened back in 2020, simply because they're already doing such toxic shit with cancer research. What's jabbing those people that we're already poisoning those people to death? What's a little mRNA vaccine here or there? if you're going to do one, you're going to do the other probably anyway. So I guess I just see that mostly as all of that's a lost cause anyway, if that makes sense. That doesn't worry me the same way, like the way everybody in lockstep was waiting for this thing that should have been this terrifying brand new invention to come down the pipe to save their asses. That doesn't scare me the way it did 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
Maybe I'm misunderstanding this, but it sounded like they were talking about this jab as preventative. And that's what concerns me, if they're selling some type of preventative vaccine, meaning they can like isolate the genome that you might be like likely to get that cancer. If they're talking that it's like a genetic component of cancer, that it's preventative.
No, he's not saying that it's you'd have to define preventative there, John, because what he's talking about, so you can test your blood for chemical markers of the presence of cancerous growth when it's too small to detect via other means, be it some kind of medical imaging or other process. And so they're suggesting that you can then isolate those specific cells and then run a genome on them and then produce a vaccine to target those things. So it's not it is and it isn't conceptually preventative. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I was thinking is like they always try to claim that there's this genetic component of cancer, that like more people are genetically predispositioned for certain cancers. So I was understanding this, that they can isolate those genes.
No, that's not what he's saying at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
Okay, I got you.
That's what I thought he was saying.
No.
Well, all right, you're the science guy.
Did you guys listen to any of that?
I did. It sounds like what he sounded like, be like, hey, you might say this type of cancer may happen to you. We can scan your blood and be like, all right, you're probably going to get this cancer. Here's a shot.
That's not what he said.
That's what it seemed like he said.
Well, you should listen better.
Well, we can have another poll because me and John took it the same way. Isn't that what? Didn't I summarize what you thought you heard too, John?
Roughly, yeah.
Just because you took it a certain way doesn't make it any more or less true. That's what he said. We can listen to it again. Let's play it again.
All right, let's listen to it again.
We can't. Your explanation to it made sense to me. Like I kind of understand.
I will break
it
this
now,
down
but
for you.
I gotta go find that video again.
Wait, does our audience want to listen to this?
I doubt it,
We shouldn't
but
get
you threw
involved in
down
it.
the gauntlet, so.
Well, you threw down the gauntlet. You're like, I know because I know.
John asked.
This is John's fault?
I just asked for clarification.
John
You
asked,
guys
I
took
answered.
this
You
way
seem to
too
take
much
issue with
to a
it.
f***ing extreme.
This is on
Fight.
you,
This
bud.
is fight.
Completely
Fight.
on you.
Fight.
This is 100% on you. All right.
I accepted his answer, so
Oh, he's is he in charge of Oracle? I didn't know that.
All right.
yeah. Give me a second.
This is going to take.
Well,
This is already taking way longer than it should.
stupid Minecraft Robert downloaded on this computer. I'm blaming that.
Good heavens. Well, we're deep in it now, boys.
Yeah, I guess we have to listen to it
So,
now.
Yeah. Oh, here it is. Well, all right.
He looks like a goblin.
Dude,
He
look
looks
at
like
look
a
at like, I don't know if you guys can really tell while we watch this ad. Look at his eyes. They're creepy as hell.
That black guy?
No, Larry,
Eating chicken? Dude, he's eating chicken. This is racist. This is the most racist thing I've ever seen.
look at Larry Ellison's
I
eyes.
swear the
They're
media.
creepy as hell.
All right.
Boycott Reynolds rap.
Should I step on this? Okay. All right.
He's got to spend 20 minutes talking about his stool.
No, I didn't. I'm not. Thank you, Mr. President. One of the most exciting things we're working on, using the tools that Sam and Masa are providing, is a cancer. It's very interesting. It turns out, I'll be quick, all of our cancers, cancer tumors, little fragments of those tumors float around in your blood.
All right. Catch that?
So you can do early cancer.
Pause. So
So
he's
you
talking about
yeah.
early diagnosis. So what he's saying is that little and I think he's making it a little bit more palatable for whoever the hell he's talking to. But basically what he's getting at is that there are little bits and pieces of these cancer cells that are floating around in the bloodstream. There are also, at least according to the people I've talked to, different kinds of proteins, which could be those little bits and pieces. But I think there are other proteins that are produced by cancerous growths as well that aren't necessarily part of those growths themselves. that will be present in the blood and are testable for. So we're talking about early diagnosis here. So
Okay.
continue to play.
So it's not a
Depends on how you define.
Cancer detection. If you can do using AI, you can do early cancer detection with a blood test, and using AI to look at the blood test, you can find the cancers that are actually seriously threatening the person. So we can, again, cancer diagnosis using AI has the promise of just being a simple blood test. Then beyond that, once we gene sequence that cancer tumor, you can then the person, design a for every individual person to them against that cancer. And you can make that mRNA, you can make that robotically, again using AI, in about 48 hours.
So what he's saying simply is that we're going to detect cancer. Again, I'm not a proponent. You know I'm not. But
no, I get it.
He's saying we're going to detect cancer early, and then once we detect what it is, we're going to use AI to determine exactly what types of cancer you're dealing with, because there are a myriad of different types of cancer, not only locations it can be, but the kinds that can be in those locations. And then once we have figured that out, we should be able to, again, using AI and robotics, produce a that can then be injected into the patient to go in and more or less train the immune system to fight and destroy the cancer before it's even detectable by current methods of cancer detection.
So let me summarize. I think I'm understanding this now, because I was getting hung up on the idea of you have to basically you have to have like stage 1 cancer or like stage a half cancer for this to work.
You would have to have cancer present.
Right. You ain't. So in that regard, it's not like the traditional understanding of like, hey, take this shot and you won't get this.
Right.
It's more like a cancer shot that's supposed to cure you of barely any cancer that you already have.
Yeah, and not to get too far off topic of the inauguration, but this is the problem with the whole jump into mRNA technology and all this other bullshit they're trying to push in these jabs, is the fact that even from a traditional standpoint, okay, if you want to be one of those allopathic medicine folks who's like, oh, I go to my doctor to stay healthy or whatever, these things that they're pushing on you, these mRNA, they're not neutralized versions of a virus. They're not live versions of a virus. They're not what they are is gene therapy. What they are is going into your body saying, hey, I'm going to make my way through into your cells. I'm going to teach your cells how to build X kind of protein, right? Via RNA messaging, okay? And then it's going to do with that. That's what these are doing. They're not to train your immune system. They're there to teach your cells how to do A or B or whatever. And so it's wildly different than any kind of, traditional understanding of that you would have had, when you're in 5th grade and learning about Louis Pasteur.
Right. And it freaking worked on me, because when I hear think exactly that. A preventative thing that you get to stop you from getting something. But they're just doing a bait and switch. They're using that word, and what they're really pumping into you is new code.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. That's what it was in 2020 when they pushed all of those mRNA jabs, and nobody batted an eye. It was absolutely, and there are other people obviously know a ton more. I need to learn more about that, but it's not the thing that we all understand as like a preventative.
Yeah, even in the traditional Western idea, that's shady.
Yeah.
The fact that they're doing a bait and switch with the word.
Right. And let's not forget that they've tried this kind of technology a lot over the past 50 years, I think. They've tried it a long time. They tried it a bunch in the 90s and early 2000s, and it just killed a lot of animals.
Well, hey, Louis Pasteur, didn't he kill like a bunch of cows and crap and like injected his children with
Yeah, and to be fair, new medical therapies, you're going to kill a lot of animals. That's just part of it. But, like, it was wildly unsuccessful. And so I don't know why they've continued to pursue it, especially when they're much better, simpler, healthier ways for addressing chronic health conditions like cancer.
Well, yeah, but we're not. Yeah, nobody wants to hear about that. So they can make you. They can like program your genes to give you a heart attack. You think that's what's going on?
I don't know that that was exactly what was going on with.
But is
those
that possible?
shots.
Is that possible?
I don't know.
Because you know the CIA had like freaking heart attack guns that they could like shoot you with this like needle, this like tiny needle, and it'd give you a heart attack.
Well, I mean that's.
So if they can do that,
well, that's probably the delivering of a particular drug, but yeah.
But if they can, if they're doing that, maybe they figured out a way to like literally bake it into your DNA. Because when you have a heart attack, that's got to come from like neurological signals that trigger a bunch of events to happen. Maybe they can figure out how to make your body do that, like within your own mechanisms, as opposed to introducing an internal mechanism. Like it's just
What?
like as opposed to like if you get a drug, that's an external stimulus,
Right.
and your body reacts a certain way to that. But what if you could like figure out the way your body works and insert code into that to make your body give itself a heart attack? Like it's not external, it's coming from internal. And maybe that's what they're doing with these mRNA.
That's not really the way those work. Necessarily. You're talking about like the coding for the way your body operates.
Doesn't mRNA deal with that? Or RNA deal with that?
Not in the context that we're dealing with, no.
Well, whatever, I give up. You just make me feel dumb.
Quick thing I want to bring up, and I kind of want to get your opinion on it. I don't know if it's in the contagion myth, but I've heard Thomas Cohen talk about this when he's talking about like screening for breast cancer in particular. That a lot of times is when they screen it and they find supposed cancer is like, and they try to treat it. It's like they found it so early. It's like the body's like actually in a state where it can treat itself, and like a lot of times is like the immune system will just like destroy that cancer. This kind of seems like we're in the similar stage. Is like, what point of this is like, you know, is this cancer supposedly prevalent, but like the body's going to take care of it naturally, and then we're just treating it, you know?
Yeah. I hadn't thought about that, John, but that's an excellent point, and something that people should be like that. Obviously, pharmaceutical companies aren't going to make people aware of that, but that is something people should be aware of, because that is, given a traditional understanding of like medicine, that happens all the time. Like supposedly, you know, everybody deals with cancer off and on throughout the course of their lives, period, but just your immune system deals with it, your body kills it off, and you move on. And so the suggestion that, hey, we're just going to catch it so early and treat it, you're probably giving an outrageous amount of unnecessary medical intervention at that point. Kind of like we do antibiotics now, because you've caught it while your body's still handling it just fine. I think that was mentioned by Tom Cowan at some point, and I mean, I think it makes very logical sense. The body fights off cancer all the time, and so why are we worrying about it that early if it's not even remotely a threat? You know, that'd be like me worrying about like having the sniffles for 12 minutes. You know, like okay, I sneezed twice, I'll be okay.
Everybody check out The Contagion Myth and Thomas Cowan. Brilliant man.
This is a great book.
I don't know. Just part of the inauguration.
Well, that wasn't in the inauguration.
It was like day 2. He announced, this.
Yeah, it's one of Trump's like big like legacy projects.
Oh, jeez.
You
That just seems so pointless from my perspective. But
well, it's probably tied to a million other things. Like I wonder if $500 billion. That's insane, man. With all these big companies, do we trust Oracle? Do we trust Microsoft?
No.
I mean, they're probably going to try and tie this into digital currencies, you know, and social credit score systems eventually.
You got your checkup?
I haven't, man. I have not been to
Well,
a
then you
checkup.
can't get your money out of the bank if you haven't gotten your
Exactly.
checkup.
Or you can't, come to this place, or you can't have this job.
You can't eat at a restaurant.
Right. And it'll start out slowly, man. It'll be like, hey, you got to get this checkup to get a job. Like kind of how we do drug tests, except they'll just like add new stuff to that.
Which it never occurred to me how those seem kind of dumb to me now.
Yeah, man.
Having to take a drug test for a job, that seems stupid.
It is stupid. It is. What, like, if let's just take a traditional view. If my corporation wants to hire a drug-addicted idiot, that is my own prerogative to waste money on a worthless worker. Why does the government have to get involved in that?
Right.
It's just another way of it's social engineering, and it's like Pavlovian conditioning, probably to prepare us for the idea that, hey, you got to go do this crap before you get a job, and they add more stuff onto it later.
Well, I mean, I've even worked for places that voluntarily have drug test their employees. And what are you worried about? If I'm walking into your office in nice clothes and a smile, the odds that I'm on meth are pretty minimal, okay? Like, I'm probably not doing too much stuff that's going to affect my job performance. Now, if you hire me and I'm a employee, guess what? Fire my ass, you know? Like, I don't get the big deal.
Yeah. The big deal is because they're training for social credit later. I mean, that's got to be it. Because who cares if you smoke weed on your off time, and if it's affecting your job, just like you said, get fired. Don't you have to? I mean, the reason people do that is because it's like the law, right?
Is it?
I'm pretty sure it is.
I'm not aware of any law.
I mean, it's just to protect from liability for the illegalness of drugs. I don't think it's like necessarily law, but it's more like an extension of the law kind of thing.
So it's
a consequence of drugs being illegal.
You can get hired without doing a drug test?
Yeah. I've been hired many places without doing a drug test.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's only like mostly for corporate jobs that I've had to do drug tests. Any job that, doesn't require me to sit at a desk, I typically don't. Even some corporate jobs I haven't had to drug test for. I've had quite a few jobs that I haven't had to drug test. Yeah.
So it's entirely voluntary?
Yeah.
Dude, that's ridiculous.
What if you smoke weed sometimes?
So the government's basically getting these corporations to do their dirty work for them.
If that's the way you want to think about it,
for
sure.
free.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude. I thought it was some kind of law that you had to do it.
No.
I mean, in specific industries, yes, there are laws.
If you work at like I think like a daycare, or maybe for the U.S. Postal Service or something, but in general, like if you go to work for, I don't know, pick a business, freaking Ace Hardware, they don't have to drug test you for shit. They might, if they want to, they can, but they don't have to. And I mean, as a private corporation, if they want to drug test you or not hire you, if you're, that's up to them. But, yeah.
Yeah, but
entirely voluntary.
But that whole thing gets to be real shady real fast. That whole argument. Oh, just a private corporation, they can do what they want. Well, what if every private corporation's screwing you?
Yeah, I mean, I know, but we have to have some framework to have this discussion under. So
yeah, I just hate that argument. That's kind of like the Nazis. Well, they're just doing their job. Nazis are just doing that. That idea. Obviously, I don't believe all that, but the concept is, I was just doing my job. It's not my fault that I killed people.
No, I mean, I think it's I think it's retarded that people drug test. Don't get me wrong, but
yeah, I don't know what you do about it.
I mean, you could refuse.
Think Trump does drugs? Think Trump has done cocaine?
Seems like too much of a square. He he did an interview with Theo Vaughn where he made it very known that he is not. Yeah.
Because I know he doesn't drink because his brother was like an alcoholic. But just how can you get so high up and be so involved in all this business that he did, especially in like the 80s when he was like young and like he was like freaking
without a little nose candy?
How in the world did he not do any of that stuff?
Yeah, I don't know. Either that or he's lying.
Yeah, well, it's got to be a lie.
Because I mean, he's taken such a defined line now as kind of like he's kind of faking like some kind of wholesome father figure, type persona.
I don't, dude. It's weird. It's like,
and so if he admits to doing drugs, that would kind of destroy a good bit of the image he's built over the past 8 years.
He's like masterfully tied like being a hero and being a scumbag into the same thing. Like nobody else can do it quite like him.
Yes.
Because nobody thinks Trump's. If you really think about it, like he's this great guy. They're all like, he's a business guy. He's just grabs women by their genitalia. and all this, but they still think of him as a good person at the same time. It's like a masterful, or like a, maybe not necessarily a good person, but like a hero at the same time. I don't know.
Well, those two things can be true at the same time.
It's a weird dichotomy with
You
Trump.
don't think those things can be true at the same time?
Not in terms of like your overall. I don't. You can do heroic things and be a bad person,
I think that's
But-
what those people are saying.
but you
mostly.
can't be a hero and be a bad person.
Mm.
Because if you do a heroic thing at the end of your life, do you become a good person?
Well, that's a big question. That's a little more philosophical, but
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
That's like freaking Samson at the end. Was Samson good or bad? Like he did a whole bunch of terrible stuff, but then at the end, the very end,
Taking down the temple.
right? And he called upon God, and he's going. He's a hero.
Well, I mean, if you want to bring that story into play, I think the overarching theme, as you walk away from that, is he was good, and so by that logic, maybe Trump will topple the temple
I
in the
don't
end.
know. I don't know, dude.
I mean, Trump's whole story is like the quintessential hero's journey. you think
I'm just
about it.
going to go ahead and say no, it's not.
No,
but
no,
finish
no,
making your
think-
point.
Think about the narrative like they've created around Trump as he comes in as this guy to, break down corruption, drain the swamp, and then he goes down on his luck. So they try to kill him, and then he comes and makes this awesome comeback, and now he's going to go and, topple the whole thing. It is kind of a quintessential little hero's journey that they painted around him. If you think about it, if you think about the narrative. And that's kind of gets to Robert's point a little bit. It's just like why you have the spectrum of you either love Trump or you hate him, because you're either on the side of the hero or you're on the side of the villain. That's the story they painted around him.
Maybe a little bit, but I don't know that anybody's quite tried to paint that story. I think people have just tried to venerate him as a hero since day one, because why?
Because he's the outsider, He's the outsider, the people's choice. Like, finally, the people got our guy in. We're done with this crap. We've got our guy. He's going to...
Why is he the people? He's a billionaire. Why is he the people's guy?
Because he says what people want to hear, man. He eats KFC like the rest of us. He golfs like the rest of us.
I don't golf.
Right? Well, in general. If instead of going to Bilderberger Group and spending $40,000 on gold-plated wine, Trump's out there golfing, sweating his ass off, and eating KFC. Right? Now, he may be flying on his private jet.
And banging supermodels.
Right. But he's just, if we were rich, we'd be him. We wouldn't be at Bilderberger. We'd be golfing with porn stars and eating Taco Bell like Trump. Or he probably doesn't eat Taco Bell, but Wendy's, okay? He probably gets a Frosty just like you or I.
The white trash president.
Yeah, that's what it is. He's a rich white trash guy, That's why it appeals. And he's like mega crass, so he...
Appeals to the 12-year-old boy in all of us.
Yeah. I don't know.
All right, let's get to these fires before we go.
Yeah.
LA's burning down.
What's burnt
Or
down?
the Palisades.
Is that...
Palisades or whatever.
That's like a neighborhood in L.A. Is it still going on?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's still raging, supposedly.
I know there's some fires in San Diego, too, that had started.
So what is this about there being no water in the fire hydrants? You guys hear anything about that?
Yeah, this big company, owns all the water in the reservoir, and there wasn't any in there, and they, took a ton of money out to, add it to, DEI programs as opposed to, having water in the reservoir, just all kinds of it, just insane liberal stuff.
Wait, instead of putting water in the reservoir, they moved it into diversity.
Yeah. Yeah, just Google, John. All right, get to Google.
What the
Might have to do Yandex, but just put in LAFD DEI program. Just type that in. That'll
So, your house. We want to hire.
yeah, look at that. See what that says.
like
John,
a-
that Politico article. That might have what the claim is.
So, your house. We want to hire a female black midget who's like Two-Spirit, right? That's what they're saying.
Yeah, well, and yeah, she's a lesbian. This fire captain was a lesbian, and if you looked at her, I mean, she definitely looks like a lesbian liberal. Yeah. So they're saying, they've diverted all this money to these DEI programs,
Oh my gosh.
and there hasn't been enough money for the freaking water. Which like there was like record rains in California this year, like so much so that this lake that was in the San Joaquin Valley like started to appear again after it had been gone since like the 1930s.
Oh my gosh.
So the idea that that it's just like dry, which California is dry,
Right.
but it literally like 2024, like massive amounts of rain.
So there's no reason these should be going on.
Yeah. And they're right next to the freaking ocean too. I mean, at the very least, just get some pumps and just pump the Pacific Ocean.
I feel like it's not quite that simple, but I see your point.
I mean, salt water will put fire out. Will it not?
It will.
I mean, that's ridiculous to me.
That's okay. Fair enough.
And they're saying it's like all these arsons just go around and starting it.
Yeah, who's doing that? Who did they? Who's that?
Well, have you seen the
Mischievous.
picture, John? Have you seen the? Here you go. Google L.A. arson suspects, L.A. fire arson suspects. And just look at a picture of all these suspects. Okay, see if you notice anything in common.
All right, I'm excited.
Yeah, go to images, John.
Oh, geez. All right.
Well,
Well-
I've seen a bunch of stuff on Twitter of all of them like together, but you can kind of see it on this images.
Are they Middle Eastern?
They're all brown. I don't think there was a white guy in any of them.
So why are we targeting these people? There's no way those guys either those guys are terrorists that were setting fires, right? Who were probably owned by the CIA,
Right, patsies.
or somebody's just profiling horribly.
Yeah, could be both. Could be elements of both.
We got a few of each.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, and these fires are just like Maui, just insane. So I mean, you'll have like a house completely burned, right? But the grass on the front lawn is fine and green. You'll have
I haven't seen any of that.
Oh, it's all over Twitter, man.
Mm.
Just look it up.
Okay.
I mean, and you'll have like cars that freaking melted the metal and the paint off, and then like a tree right next to it that's fine.
Mm.
You'll have like neighborhoods leveled, and then just one house standing that's fine. Did you see that picture like of the McDonald's? John, pull up the.
Ooh, I feel like I did see something.
Pull up
about
that L.A.
McDonald's.
fire McDonald's video. There was like freaking 100-mile-per-hour flaming winds.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
So the flaming
is-
arches.
which it's just not. Yeah, it's that. Well, look at this, man.
Oh
Look at
my.
that.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah, that is insane.
That is not natural. Okay, I don't care who you are. That is something out of freaking World War III right there. That is foreshadowing. It's got to be foreshadowing.
I don't know. That is wild though.
I mean, and they claim it's these Santa Ana winds, and like there ain't nothing on the hilltops, but the wind like rushes down into the valley and just like it's super. I mean, California and Chicago, you don't think of like hurricane force winds in I've been to California. It wasn't freaking windy. It wasn't like 100-mile-per-hour gusts that were just like all the time normal. It's just I don't know. This is all unnatural to me. And then they're like, already zoning for 2028 to build like smart cities and like Olympic sites on what they've destroyed. There's all that land grab that comes after it. Same thing that happened in Maui.
Yeah, and I mean that's
Same thing that happened in North Carolina.
That's dystopian.
Yeah. And then they gaslight you for climate change. Be like, oh, this fire happened because of climate change.
Right.
Even though it had like the most epic rainfall. Hey, John, like Google California, Southern California. Google Southern California average rain per year. Okay. And then see how much it rained in 2024. but they still gaslight you that it's climate change, that it's because of all this dryness.
Well, I mean, once
and this uncut brush. Did you see that? They were claiming, like the Republicans
I have heard that
are claiming because the environmental people won't let you clean up your brush if you cut it down. That's what started it. So it's like a bunch of like.
Why won't they let them clean up their brush? That seems strange.
I don't know, dude. For us Tennesseans, for people who are not from just the dead desert of the West, that's like if you go cut a bunch of hay down and just leave it there.
Right. It's very odd.
It's 115% of average in 2024.
Exactly, dude.
That's well above average.
I
would
know.
imagine. Wow.
And like, what's that lake? John, Google like lake in San Joaquin Valley. I can't remember what it's called. It started to appear again.
Oh, I heard a little bit of something about
Yeah,
this.
because it freaking rains so much. So
Right.
I just don't understand. I don't like. It's got to go beyond incompetence. It's got to be nefarious to me. And then of course you had the blue trash cans, and that blue van.
Two-layer lake.
Yeah, yeah.
Ghost Lake resurfaced after nearly 130 years, flooding large areas of farmland due to heavy rainfall and snow melt.
Right.
In California. Now, how close is this to
Now,
the
I
source
mean-
of the fires?
I mean, it's probably 70. Like San Joaquin Valley is absolutely massive. Probably the most southern portion's probably 70 miles or so north of Los Angeles, 70, 80 miles. That's just my guess.
Okay.
Um,
But your point is the rainfall across the whole area was such that
Right.
this lake started to reappear.
exactly.
And so it seems highly improbable that they would have such massive fires during a banner rainfall year.
Right. On top of like the control of these reservoirs are all like mega billionaire like Jewish
Right.
faceless corporation owned,
Yeah.
right? And then on top of all this DEI nonsense and like the incompetence of the LAFD and just the weirdness of the fire in general. Like all this weird stuff on Twitter, like I said. Of course, I'm not there, but
Oh, it's easy to isolate images like that and, just throw them out there, and it looks weird. But it's the preponderance of the evidence that does make it strange. Like, you could probably find little bits and pieces of snapshots of any natural disaster and be like, oh, that's a little weird. But it's the fact that, like, some moron just let all the water not be there, that they've had a banner year of rainfall. Like, it does seem fishy. I'll give you that.
I don't know.
Hey, good for that lake, though. Popping out and making an appearance.
Yeah, after 130 years, wow.
Right. But, our hearts are with all those just super rich people who are having to live in their third, fourth, or fifth home. We're very sorry. I'm sorry that they had to,
Yeah, you know what? It didn't burn down.
take out a $2,000 a night hotel. It's a hard life.
$2,000 a night. That's like staying in like a Motel 6 for them. They could do $10,000 a night.
Anyway.
You know what didn't burn down?
What?
Hollywood.
Of course it didn't.
You know what else didn't burn down? All their porn studios. You know what else didn't burn down?
You got to keep the people entertained.
Any kind of technical development at all.
bud. Really?
Right? It was all
All residential.
got to be. I'm sure it wasn't all
And, like,
residential,
low-level
but
commercial.
Right, but like there wasn't anything important that burned down. Right.
Well, thank
The-
heavens.
What all burned down was just virtue signaling celebrities who probably signed an agreement with somebody
Hey, your house is going to get
a
burned
long
down.
time ago, and they knew this was coming. The devil always gets his due.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
It's also like, now that I just thought about it, some weird kind of symbolism crap, because it's like the whole, like, political narrative, at least, is the Republicans that come in is like, we're in the new age. And we're coming in the new age. It's like,
They're
all
burning
this is
Hollywood.
burning down.
Yeah.
Like, what the
Did you see all of the like insurance stuff? How they had like canceled all the insurance policies like right beforehand
No.
on fire insurance. There's
Really?
a whole big thing on that, and then they freaking moved the L.A. Rams game. They were playing in the playoffs to the State Farm Stadium in Arizona.
How long was this before the fires started?
Like 2 weeks, I think. Like really.
Wow.
It was very soon before the fire started.
Yeah. Taking out a insurance policy on a tower right before it starts to explode.
It's like the
type of-
inverse of that. They're like
Yeah.
canceling insurance,
Right.
like they knew it was coming.
Right. Dude, that's
And didn't the
Alright.
same thing happen in Maui too?
I don't know.
I
know.
feel like I've read that too. That like the same process of canceling a bunch of insurance policies happened. in
I
Maui
just
as
know
well.
Maui was the freaking Maui burst Mountain Dew crap came out that very same year. And then Biden's tweet that they're laser focused on helping the victims.
right. I'm familiar.
And everything blue, man. Same stuff in California. I saw this blue van that had survived, all the blue trash cans on the road. The Latter-day Saint, like the Church of Scientology was fine with its blue roofs. All kinds of weird stuff, man.
Strange. That is strange. All right. I think that's about all I can take today.
Yeah.
So, cool. We'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, we're back.
I'm starting to fade. Talk to you guys later.